I should have been more forceful on that. Well, we are back. The show continues. The fun continues.
Hit it with a hammer.
I'm not going to do that. It would destroy the keyboard.
That would, well, there you go. But that would be more forceful.
Oh, come on now. Well, Jim, as we are recording here today, again, in advance of a lot of things, this is the ultimate time travel episode if there ever was one. Some Tony Khan news is breaking. It's coming out of an interview he did. I do not know who this is with. Q101. So it's either a radio station.
I know a Q102, but I don't know the Q101.
In New York, it used to be Q104.
Q102's in Dallas.
Well, here's Tony Khan talking about his relationship with CMLL, but the big thing that people were talking about is the relationship he had with AAA and Dragon Lee, who you may remember was appearing on AEW TV.
Yeah.
Abruptly announced he was signing with WWE, if you remember, right when they beat FTR for the AAA tag titles.
Yeah, he won the match, won the belts, and said, see ya, I'm starting for the WWE.
Well, here's Tony Khan talking about this. This goes for a couple minutes. We could stop it along the way and talk about it, but this is pretty interesting.
We spoke. It was announced that WWE had purchased AAA. I am just curious in terms of your business relationship with CMLL, how that might affect things.
It's great. It's a great thing. We started working with CMLL in 2023, and things have really, really looked up for us. I have a great relationship with Salvador, and I
can't keep up.
Yeah, he just did great. So that's two.
Yeah, I know. I can't keep up. I'm sorry.
I had not, frankly, that's not unexpected to me. I'd kind of been expecting that ever since the way the Dragon Lee signing was announced on December 30th of 2022. From then on, I said, okay, then I think it's highly likely that's the way this thing's going, because that was certainly a big surprise to me. It's not like, FTR were there and they saw the WWE cameras and it's like, okay, something's up. I had not agreed to that, actually.
Take me through that situation.
Well,
Again, let's stop it for a second before they go a little further.
We saw cameras from the WWE and said, something may be afoot.
Something. WWE cameras are here. Should we drop the belts? And of course, that is what happened. They dropped the belts, and then Dragon Lee immediately announced he's going to WWE right after he beat FTR. But let's go back to this.
We had agreed that FTR would go down and wrestle Rush and Dralistico, and then something happened during the day where Dragon Lee was in there. I was up doing a show in Denver that day, and I remember I was with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe had a match that night. It was December 30th in 2022, and I talked to FTR, and they said there's some kind of strange stuff going on here. And then right after Dynamite ended, that match went off, and they announced that Dragon Lee was signing with WWE, and he still had FTR's name on the plate. So it was really a double cross.
Yeah.
And that would never happen now. That's one of those things that would never happen now.
It would never happen now because of the politics in Mexico or because of the way that you
Salvador and I are brothers. Like, I have a very close relationship with them.
Let me stop for a second there.
Oh, boy. Well, I'll never get fooled again because this guy really likes me.
Just because you get high with someone doesn't mean you're brothers. That's what I always say.
Oh, is he going to follow this up with saying because we have contracts in place or specific written documents or some framework of a deal here, or just because this guy likes me more than the other guys liked me?
There's a little bit left. Let's hear what he says.
Believe he would ever betray me like that, and I would never betray him like that. And, if we wanted to do something on a show, we would talk to each other. We wouldn't be making subs or changing stuff out or switching allegiances mid-show.
Very much so.
I don't think I've ever said that, but here, I think it's a good story for you and your audience, and I like you. So,
that's greatly appreciated.
Well, there it is. I don't know who he's
and I like to. You, and you'd never betray me. And I would never betray you either. So I'll just tell you how that this other guy betrayed me because I thought he liked me too.
Well, again, I'd like to give credit to whoever this is. I don't know who this is. It says Q101 in the corner here.
Are you sure he wants the credit?
What do you think of what Tony's saying here? We've talked a lot about WWE messing with him, just this past weekend in terms of, you got your big show. We're going to run as many shows as we can with as many stars as we can, trying to hit as many audiences as we can. This is a different animal. Who, if anyone, did something wrong here in your eyes? Obviously, Tony thought he had a deal with AAA. Again, if it's not on paper, of all companies, I don't know why you would trust AAA.
Yeah.
But Tony seemed to think everything was happening. FTR smelled something in the air. It smelled like rain. WWE cameras were there. I mean, that's like a 1983 Vince move. Why is Steve Taylor running around giving everyone his business card? What the hell is that?
That Pat Patterson up in the stands in that baseball cap?
What do you think of this story?
Well, first of all, that's when I was talking earlier about being able to work with Bill Watts, WCW, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. You have to know. I had a handshake deal. I'm scoffing at this guy. But one of the things is you have to know who you can have those kind of deals with. And once you cross country borders, the possibilities go drastically down unless you're dealing with the reanimated corpse of Giant Baba as to whether, you need something in writing. But you try to work with like-minded people and promoters when you're sharing talent so that everybody's on the same page. And again, it's hard enough to enforce if he's sending his talent out. It's hard enough to enforce it when you get some guy wants to go into business for himself or do something shady in Poughkeepsie, much less in Mexico or Japan or somewhere you've got no recourse with, except to tell your talent, if anything changes or goes sideways, is not what we agreed on, just fucking leave. And hopefully they're at a place where they can leave. But, sometimes doesn't look like a good idea for their health and well-being.
Now, this wasn't his tag championships. This was AAA's, even though it was his wrestlers holding it. Should he have done that? Should FTR have done anything differently? What do you think about all that?
Well, and again, what good did it do FTR to have their belts otherwise than they got booked a few times in Mexico? For AEW business, they never completed that thing. The only reason it ever meant anything is if they got the AEW belts. And remember, that's when the Hardley boys had them. So FTR had almost all the belts, but not the belts of the company that they're on the show of. So it's just nonsense that didn't come to fruition to begin with. But I think, honestly, if FTR had their belts, they should drop them before they sever any relationship. But at the same time, if they're important AEW talent and they see WWE cameras and they've got a substitution of the scheduled opponents they had, where now they're putting this other guy in this thing. I don't know whether maybe one or the other of them might have tore a hamstring warming up in a locker room and shit. He's in pain. We'll come back next month and drop it. I'll do a single. What do you want to do? Just to fuck with them a little bit. What do they get? I say, what are they going to do? Hopefully in this day and age, nothing. But as long as they weren't going to get goddamn taken for a ride somewhere out under a bridge, they might have pulled that fucking deal.
Is Tony right to be peeved about it?
Well, yeah, and I love it. That's the thing, is you can buy Tony being peeved. It's if you say Tony's mad, that almost sounds silly. But peeved, he could be peeved. Yes, again, the whole thing is they get into these deals with all of these other companies because Tony's a internet newsletter mark that wants to work with everybody in the world. And sometimes it ain't really that important that you work with everybody in the world when everybody in the world ain't really working with you.